lot of people don't realize that a lot of students are involved in the alumni association. They think that it's just for old people that can give back and give money. And that's not at all what our mission. Our mission is to engage students and engage young alum after they're students because they have time and talent. And the other thing is a little bit more recognizable for most people is the Mizzou Homecoming Steering Committee. So homecoming was just a couple weeks ago. It's an entirely student-run homecoming. And, it's just a great way to engage the Columbia community. It's a great way to engage students. So, I mean, it's kind of an interesting balance I had to play because we have an actual advisor who's full-time staff, Allie Friend, and I'm basically her assistant. So for a long time last year, I just did what I was told. I just, this needs to be done. Okay, I'll do it. That needs to be done. Sure, I'm there. But this year, just because I've had 1 year under my belt, I've been able to contribute a little bit further in the content of some of our events. And this year, a lot of the focus is in making our events more inclusive, more safe, for everybody at Mizzou. So these traditions aren't just for white students. They're not just for Greek students. They're not just for this and that or people that can afford them. Our Mizzou traditions are for Mizzou students and for the Mizzou community. So we wanted to make sure that we engage anybody and everybody that was willing to put in the time and put in the effort to make our traditions awesome. So some of the things specifically that I did was just encouraging our students to have an open mindset. I know that's such a small thing, but it has a cumulative effect down the road. It has an exponential effect just because the more that you think about it, the more that you think about engaging people, and the more that you put yourself in other people's shoes, the more that becomes a part of your life outside of just an activity. Homecoming is a competition, and a lot of people just get so bogged down into the competition, they fail to realize the greater meaning behind homecoming. It's just about loving Mizzou and loving what Mizzou represents. And that's what we try to embody with these traditions like homecoming. And a lot of times we just see people that are worried about points, and I just want them to take a deep breath and realize that there's so much more to that. So a lot of times that leads into my positive or my favorite part when people do realize that, and they realize that homecoming can be such a great thing. It can be such a great tool for change, and it can be a great tool to represent our university and our community. I miss the chaos of it. I remember just last week coming to work and just being like, well, now what? And I mean, that takes a couple weeks to wear off, or a couple days to wear off. And actually just today, we selected our new tri-directors for next year. So, I mean, we're ready to go. We're starting for Homecoming 2016. It's exactly a year from now. It's October 22nd next year. So, I mean, exactly 1 year from now, we'll be having our homecoming festivities once again. And I'm ready to go. So, I mean, yeah, it kind of is a little bit of a dip that first week after homecoming, but then you just start over again. And I'm really excited to meet all the wonderful students that we're going to have next year.